Hello, everybody, and welcome to WP Wednesday. My name is Jared Gucci, and I'm the owner and founder of WPFixit.com. Today, I'm going to be talking about customizing the administrative area in your WordPress installation. And this is a great topic because it allows a more professional experience for the administrative area and allows you to clean up and organize the admin area for ease of use. So let's just dig right into this. We're actually going to be talking about using two different plugins today to achieve what the topic is about. And the screen you're looking at right now is the default login screen for a WordPress installation. And this screen here is a customized version of the login. And I think most would agree that this looks a lot better than that. Not only have we removed the WordPress logo and replaced it with the client's branding, but we've also color schemed this page as well to make it more attractive and more professional. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So if we log in, it's going to take us into the dashboard. And this is just the default display for a WordPress admin area. And if we log into this site here, it's also going to take us into the dashboard, and you will notice that looks very different. Not only are some of the design elements different, but the menu itself is very different. And the first plugin we're going to talk about using is a plugin called Admin Menu Editor. And there is a free version of it at wordpress.org/plugins. But the version I'm going to be talking about today is the Pro version. And the Pro version has a few different pricing options. If you are going to be using this just for personal use, it's $19. And for the developers out there, it's $60, and you can use it on unlimited sites. I highly recommend buying the Pro version because it has a lot of additional features and benefits that do not come in the free one. But if you'd like, you can get the free one from WordPress.org, and you can play around with that. But let me show you actually what this plugin does. Okay, so you'll notice that I actually have different icons on the menu items. I've actually changed the titles of the menu items. I've reorganized them. You know, you'll see that plugins is now under the My Website option. I mean, this is just completely customized. Now, looking at the default one here, we'll actually go into the plugin here, and you can see how simple this thing is. It's mainly drag and drop. And as we're looking in here, you know, if I wanted to move post around, I can move it around here. I could change this to edit post. It will change that. You can also, and again, we're talking about the Pro version of this plugin. You can put some advanced permission options on certain menu items. So for example, if I had a, let's change this to My Website. And then within My Website, we have 3 drop downs, as you can see here, home, updates, and I've actually put a custom item in there. Let me delete that custom item, and we'll create it together. I'm just going to delete that. So if I wanted to add a new menu item, put the title there. This would be the URL to that menu item. Now let's say I wanted to actually link to another URL outside of the site. Maybe it's some documentation for one of the installed plugins. Maybe it's your social media profile, your company portfolio, whatever it is, you wanted to link to another URL. We'll just link to Google here. And then we're going to show some advanced options because we're going to put a title. We'll put search Google. And we want this tab to open up in a frame, which means it will actually open up within the admin area. So if I click on frame, and I'm just going to close this, save changes, and we'll notice now that the name changed up here. We have a new item here. If I click new item, might need to, maybe it didn't put the URL in there properly. Make sure I got the URL in there. HTTP. Oh, let's try another URL here. Let's try this URL. For some reason, it doesn't seem to like Google. So let's try that URL there. Okay, so there we go. We have our frame within, and actually if I zoomed out, it will remove the horizontal scroll bar. So there we go. So we've now framed a page or site within our admin area. So this can kind of clean things up if you do have to direct your clients, or you want to include something inside of your admin menu that is on another site. You can use that frame option. The other things you can do with that plugin, we'll go back in there, is you can actually change the icon. So as we see, we've adjusted some of these icons, make it a little bit more colorful, a little bit more professional. You can do that as well. So with this new item, again, we're going to go to advanced options. There is, where are we at here? Oh, okay, sorry. We can't put an icon on a drop down. It has to be main level, excuse me. Okay, so let's go up to my website, advanced options, and then there's an area here that says icon URL. And if we click on that, it will give us some options here, or we can upload a file. Now I'll just I'll use something that's in here already. We'll set that as the icon. We will save our changes. You'll see now we have a new icon there. Okay. The other really important thing that you can do with this is, if you are a developer and you want to limit your clients' access to some of the admin options, for example, plugin settings or things that they can go into and wreak havoc, you can do that by using this plugin. And you'll notice here that these are the different user roles, and you can have your client be an administrator, but you can still limit the menu items that they will see. And the way you would do that is you'd click on administrator and you would uncheck the items that you don't want them to have. But of course you want to be able to have access to those. So as a current user, you'd click on that and then you put those back on. So the way that would work is anybody who's an administrator would not have access to those things that you unchecked, as we can see there, but you as the current user would. Okay, and then of course you would hide this menu item so they would not be able to go in there and change the settings. And basically what happens if they try to access one of those pages, there's a dialog that says they do not have permission. So very, very powerful plugin, very easy to use, gives you a nice, clean and organized look. And instead of having those really long left-hand menus, you can really organize those. And certain things inside of your WordPress installation you may not need access to more than once, so you can hide those things to kind of clean things up. Okay, and I'll actually show you what this would look like to a normal user here. You can see how clean it can look. So there we go, it's nice and clean. If we go in admin settings, they simply have the default WordPress options. They don't have all the plugin options, and same thing in tools. And then these are the bare minimum items that they will need to manage their content. Okay, so the other plugin I want to talk about is a really cool plugin, 100% free, very powerful, been using it for years, love this little bad boy. It's called White Label CMS, and you can also find this at wordpress.org. Of course, you can install it directly by adding a new plugin and just searching for White Label CMS. What this thing does is it allows for lots of customization in your admin area. And let me just switch back. Okay. So one thing you may notice right off the bat is we have a little dancing couple here. So that's one thing that we can change with that. You will also notice that there is a block here that says welcome to your website and some welcome message here. We can adjust that. You'll also notice, it may be hard to see on the screen, but there's a pattern. It's been completely changed out. Usually this is just a solid white pattern, but we've changed that out. We've changed the color scheme of the bar and also the menu items as well. And you'll notice we've changed the WordPress logo and the footer branding as well. So this plugin, White Label CMS, will allow you to do that. And we'll actually go into this one because I can show you the options here. Or wait, let me actually go into this one. It might be a little bit cleaner to see here. Okay, so we go into the plugin settings, and there's basically four different categories. The first one is the general branding, where we can hide the WordPress logo, which is this little puppy up here. We can add our own in there. The dashboard logo is that little house that sits next to dashboard, and on this particular site we've added in a dancing couple. And then we can replace what it says. Instead of it saying dashboard, we can have it say something else. Then we have our footer branding as well. So all this branding at the bottom, thank you for creating with WordPress, you know, the WordPress version, and there's some links to stay updated. We can remove all of that stuff in this section and put our own stuff. And actually it's a really good thing to remove the WordPress version for security reasons. The other thing is, remember we looked at the custom login screen, and this is where we can adjust all of those settings. So we can simply make the entire background white, and then we can add our custom logo, which will replace the WordPress logo. And then for those of you that are well versed in CSS or even know the basics, this is the box where you would input your custom CSS to really, you know, trick that page out. And if we look at one that's completed already, I can show you. So here's some CSS that's actually creating the way the login page looks. Okay, so there's really no limitations to how you want to make that page look. And if you do have any questions about CSS styles, you can definitely reach out to me and comment on this video, and I can help you out. Okay, the next section here is admin page title. This kind of changes the way the page titles look within the editing area. Not too important there. Dashboard panels. Okay, this is a really good one because this allows you to globally hide some of the dashboard panels if you think that's necessary for your client or for your site. It also allows you to, let's see here, you can turn off the dashboard completely if you do not want anybody to see the dashboard. Most of these default settings are fine. I think users can have their own ability to change some of that stuff, but if you did want to overwrite and have it globally set, you could do that here. The next section here is there's some good settings in here. A lot of the defaults are fine, but some of the settings in here, if you wanted to hide the nag update, that's actually a good one for your clients. And what the nag update is, when there is a WordPress update and you'll get that little message that sits across the top saying your WordPress is out of date, you could hide that from your users. So, you know, you can stay on top of that, but your clients won't see that. And sometimes updates can, you know, cause problems, and you may not want them to follow the steps of that message. So you can actually hide the nag update. Okay, other important things here is you can hide some of the meta boxes in your post. You know, if you don't want them to have access to custom fields, revisions, and other post meta boxes, you can actually click on those so they will be hidden. Same thing for page meta boxes as well. You can hide those. And then this section here, again, really important. This is the box to input any custom CSS for the admin area. Now, if we're going back to this side, you see that we've completely recolored this top bar here. We've rebranded and added a texture on the background here. We've changed all the colors of these links, and I'll actually show you another site where we got real intense with the customization of the admin area, and it's done through that it's done through this box here. If you're good with CSS, you can pretty much do anything that you want. But let me just show you how this dashboard looks in here. So you'll see that we've completely removed all of the boxes here on the dashboard, and then inside of some of these custom post types, let's see here, we've actually removed some of the links that would normally be within some of these meta boxes. So this here will allow you to completely customize anything and everything within the admin area. And again, you do need to know some CSS, but if you do have questions about that, I can definitely help you out. All right, the next section here is the modifying the menus. Now, since we're using the admin menu editor, you don't necessarily need to use this section here. So the defaults are fine here, but if you just wanted to play around with white label CMS first without menu editor, you could adjust the way the menus will actually look on the left hand side here. Okay, so I just want to wrap up here with one really important thing with both of these plugins, and that is the export and import options. Now, the first time you do this, and I'm talking more to the developers right now, but the first time you do this, you set it up the way you'd like, and then you simply export your settings. So the next site you create, you don't have to go through and set all this up. You can simply import your settings, which is the file that was exported, and it will completely set it up the same on every site you import it to. So this saves a lot of time, and the same thing goes for the menu editor as well. You can import and export. So basically, just to tell you my process is, setting up the framework of the site. Two of the main steps are to install both of these plugins and then import the settings for each of them, and I don't have to go and set them up because most of my sites will have these menu options. Now, of course, they're not going to have the the dancing people, but it makes sense with this site because it's a dance studio. But I may change this setting out for the certain site based on the industry. But as far as the left-hand side here, most of this will be the same on every site I create. So that import export feature is actually really important. And again, we're creating a more organized admin area, a more professional area, and also just kind of enhancing the experience for your clients or for yourself as well. So I hope this was helpful. I do look forward to talking with you next week. And if you do have any topics that you'd like me to cover on WordPress, feel free to comment on the video below. But I just want to thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week.